Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I think you're
All
good.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So for question 1, so it gives us this list of eukaryotic mRNA, and then in question A, it says which end of the mRNA molecule is the 5' end and which is the 3' end. And then in the description, it said assume that the RNA polymerase II produced this molecule from right to left. And so we know that RNA polymerase II synthesizes in the 5' to 3' direction. So because of that, on the left side, we're going to have the 3' end, and on the right side, we're going to have the 5' end. So it says for B, what is the sequence of the template DNA strand? And so the template DNA strand starting on the 5' end is going to be the A, C, G, A, C, G, G, T, 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 A, G, T, A, G, 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 C, T, A, T, C, T, and then the 3' end. If you guys want to see what that looks like, hopefully you can see that. Okay. And then for C, it says, what is the sequence of the coding DNA strand? Well, if you think about it like this, the coding DNA strand is pretty much going to be the exact same as the mRNA, except your U's are going to be T's. And so you can just look at question B, and it's kind of the reverse of that. And so this is what I put for that, if you can see that. And so it starts off 3' end, T, G, C, T, T, G, C, C, and then 3 A's, and then it continues on. So number 4, it says, draw an image that shows the 3 nucleic acid strands above during the elongation stage of transcription, and then make sure to label the mRNA, the template DNA strand, the coding strand, and then on which side, the right or the left of the template strand, and all that. So the ta-ta box. It's going to have your ta-ta box, and then that's where it's going to kind of show where it starts. And so I just pretty much had my template DNA strand and then the mRNA strand coded right next to it. And then the coding strand is kind of lagging behind. And then as that circle kind of closes back up, the coding strand is going to reconnect with the template strand. All right, then for number 2, whoa. Weird. Okay. So for number 2, it says fill in the blank. And so I got the sigma factor binds directly to the ta-ta box, while the 2F2D binds directly to the -10 and -35. Then for B, I said we said the guanylyl transferase is eukaryotic enzyme that binds the 5' carbon of one nucleotide to the 5' carbon of another nucleotide. And then for C, we put group 1 interons use nucleoside guanosine as cofactor during catalysis, while group 2 interons use adenine as cofactor during catalysis. And for D, we said CPSF is an endonuclease that assists in terminating transcription in eukaryotes. And then for E, it said in lesson 9, we learned about general transcription factors. TF2B is a general transcription factor that acts as a bridge subunit to link TF2D to TFF and RNA polymerase II. And then TF2H is the general transcription factor that acts to phosphorylate and activate RNA polymerase II. And then for F, we said the spliceosome is composed of subunits called SNRPs, or small nuclear ribonucleoproteins. These spliceosome subunits are composed of 2 components, proteins and small nuclear RNAs. Okay. And then for 3, we said this question concerns proteins involved in transcription and RNA modification. It says indicate 2 proteins in either prokaryotes or eukaryotes that act as helicase to separate 2 DNA strands. And so we said RNA polymerase and TF2H. And for B, it says indicate 1 protein in prokaryotes that acts as helicase to separate RNA from DNA during transcription. And we did the Rho P protein. And then for C, we said indicate 3 molecules in eukaryotes that function during RNA modification as ribozymes. And so we said SNRPs, which is the small nuclear ribonucleoproteins, and then group 1 and group 2 introns. And then for D, it says indicate 1 protein in prokaryotes that acts as a transcription factor. And the obvious choice for that is the sigma factor. And then for E, it says indicate 1 enzyme in eukaryotes that synthesize a long string of identical RNA nucleotides, but does not use a template DNA strand for RNA synthesis. We put poly-A polymerase.
Okay, so I'm gonna go through number 5 first, and then I'll do number 4 because I feel like 5 is like easier to get out of the way. So for A, for whatever is found in the E. coli, we got RUT minus 35 in the NUS A. For what's found in the yeast, we got minus 25. The enhancer, silencer, group 1 intron, GC box, TF2D, and the SNRPs. And then for C, we got enhancer, silencer, minus 25, minus 35, the GC box, and the TF2D. And then for what's involved in transcription termination, we got RUT and the NUS A. And then for what's a DNA sequence, we got the GC box, the enhancer, silencer, and minus 25, minus 35. And yeah, that's it. So for number 4, for A, so I just drew one I'm gonna show everything, and then I'm gonna explain it, if you can see. That's my drawing. Okay, so for A, I just drew 1 big R loop. For B, I drew the 4 I loops and 5 R loops. For C, I drew 3 of the I loops and 4 of the R loops. And then for the last one, I drew 3 of the R loops and 2 of the I loops. That makes sense. And yeah. And that's it.